Yo, yo, it's ODB, Our Lifestyle Podcast. This is July 97, issue 67 of Mini Truckin Magazine. And man, is it a classic. I can't wait to jump in to this one. I was just reminiscing a few minutes ago about 1988. Did you guys get the trivia question last week on the podcast? 8888, what a great date. And then, of course, the 10th anniversary came out in November of 98. And it was like a tribute. So not the original members. It was people doing cover tracks for NWA. But, man, a lot to talk about here. So you basically have, this was Shawn Hudson with Jill Sharp on the cover. Shartsis shot it. Colorado Custom Wheels. Fun fact about this one, it's one of two Pathfinders to grace the cover. What's the other one? See if you guys figure it out or can remember, and you can comment. Comment now if you can think about it, and I'll swing back to it. Hopefully I don't forget. You got to remind me. So this is truly an iconic classic mini truck, all right? We all call these, trucks, SUV, whatever you want to call it, but July 97, so smack dab in the middle of the year. It's summer, and you kind of have the summer feel to this one. Again, you have the awesome Jill Sharp wearing the Mini Truckin Magazine shirt. You got Michael Cox, rest in peace, the Professional Auto Sound and Security banner. You have Battle of the Imports, and this one's kind of a cool spin. Collector's Edition, all import special. Nissan, Toyota, Mazda, of course, and Isuzu. One thing I always loved about this one, of course, the amazing Colorado Custom Wheels, but you also have the bucket, the famous bucket. And, we remember this from kind of a nod to the Pat Nicole cover with Ballistic, okay? What I want to tell you guys is this. So check this out. I've got an original. This one came from Jason Redden many years ago. Thank you to Jason. And we are going to have, you can go to ourlifestylepodcast.com. You guys have seen me shout that out. You can buy these iconic stickers. Now, ours are not going to say magazine here, just so you know. This is one that I've had. It is a reprint, and those are going to go out. We're also going to have the shirt with this iconic grid and Mini Truckin original logo. Alan Paradise actually recently talked about who created that original logo, and we did a little bit of a spin on it. We took off magazine just to do something different. We have a little OLP spin with the OLP logo on the front. But please, if you can, go out to Our Lifestyle Podcast and pick up a sticker or two. Now, they are on pre-sale. They can take up to 4 to 6 weeks to ship. But hit us up. All right, so you guys saw in issue 66, I talked about this was Mike Shartsis. And again, no disrespect. I just always thought it was a different kind of advertisement. But keep in mind, that's what you want to do. If you're in marketing, you want to come up with things like this. So Macrom high definition loudspeakers. So kind of cool. Imagine making a little bit of side cash if that's what he was allowed to do to be in the ads. So inky wheels, many people have those kind of etched in their mind. Actually, I kind of forgot about this wheel, and I think there was a guy, Brandon from Florida. He had a white body dropped S10 that I need to talk about when we get to that issue. His S10, I think technically might have been in the most Mini Truckin magazines. There's kind of a spin to that. Some of you guys may know what I'm talking about. I noticed it many, many, many years ago, but I remember he had some inky wheels on it. Matt Torgerson body dropped his truck. So here you have the table of contents. So you got 2, 4, 6, 7 features, give or take. Metamorphosis is the title truck. And you also have just Peachy, which is fire. Heirloom is awesome. Lemon and Lime, that's technically a dual feature. So much gold in this one. The events, I was never kind of into all the import type stuff, but I appreciated the coverage that they had. I know a lot of guys are, and ladies, so that's good. And then here you have on the cover where it talks about Jill Sharp, Shartsis, of course, and Shawn Hudson's one-of-a-kind Nissan in full slam mode. Okay, Fujifilm moment, because remember, they were shooting on, believe it or not, film. Here you have the editorial from Shartsis. And I just like to kind of go over this in case you guys want to take screenshots and check it out, doing your research or whatever you're doing. Battle of the Imports. So this was one of those events. I actually did enjoy looking through these. Although, like, these style trucks were never my thing, I always thought it was intriguing to see, like, the Odyssey van. I think it was Honda Odyssey, right? You know, it just was something that was super popular in this era. And I don't know that, you know, these guys had enough opportunity to go do their thing and all get together. I mean, maybe they did out in Cali. But Battle of the Imports was definitely a big event. I think Ruben mentioned that he had went there. You can think back to, this is July 97, and this event took place in November at Palmdale, California. So it kind of reinforces how long some things did take, depending on how they wanted to kind of puzzle together an issue. This one was great to wait that long because they were able to kind of theme this one out an all-import issue, and what better coverage to have than an import event. You have AIM Group Shop Tour. I don't spend a lot of times on these, but a lot of time on these shop tour type deals, but there you have it, AIM. Many of us know that name, of course. Here you have the mini market. Same old kind of stuff. Are you still thinking about the other Pathfinder that was on the cover? All right, just say no body roll. So here you have Tom Lutz. He contributed a lot to the magazine with some suspension updates. Yeah, paper cuts, and thanks to Ed Eister, he did chime in. It was JP, which I don't know why I never remember that. It's on the glass. JP Hydraulics. He's boys with Frank and those guys down there, right? So that was from the event that we talked about in the last issue. There you go. Some OGs in the scene, definitely in Florida, but I would give them credit for much more than just being in Florida. Here you have some iconic Covercraft ads. I always love this one, being a fan of blue. Recently had a chance to buy a truck that was the same color and kind of opted against it, and it kind of worked out because I ended up with something else, and I'm kind of glad I did. But to me, it's super clean, those OBS, just even basic with those kind of composite headlights and that grille. Straight fire, man. Simplicity at its best. So here you have Chris Moore's Toyota. Now, this is the truck that has the splat on the license plate. We'll see right here to NC. And I'm going to click up here and turn on my focus, which I love to do for 1 hour. So my Mac will stop dinging at me. If you haven't checked out Focus, it's actually rolled out, I think, on the last iOS update last year. You can do some kind of cool stuff where, you know, before, if you were in a group text, you could mute it. But Focus, you can actually dictate what apps can send you notifications during certain times, like time of work, or like right now, for instance. Those annoying dings, of course. And the cool thing is, if you've got other Apple products, it kind of turns on, which I forgot to turn it on the phone. It would have batched over to the Mac, and it's supposed to work seamlessly. But I did not turn that on today. You can see some of the ads here. This speeds up our time, kind of going through. Some of these I've got down to like 20 minutes, and then I think the last one was a little longer. So handled swapping instead of shaving. This is kind of a cool thing. I remember when this was a huge mod. There were a couple guys, I remember, was it a Ford Ranger, I know, with a splash bed, and I think maybe an Isuzu, but doing the Miata door handles. This is Al Martinez Auto Body from, keep me honest, from Cow Truck Jam. Rest in peace, Al Martinez. And kind of a cool mod. You'll still see it here and there, and I always thought it was awesome. Real clean, something a little bit different, and gave you the chrome handle. Now guys are, of course, doing like the Kindig-It. Shout out to Chuck Dog. Chuck with his van, he did the Kindig-It handles on that. And he moved on the Astro, the fuel filler, into the Jam. So you have Joe Greaves. He does Fantasy of Flight. This is about midway through from Tampa to Orlando area. And it was a popular show in the era. You can see it as you're going down I-4. You see the old plane over there. It kind of has like a little optical illusion on how it looks like the propellers are spinning. A lot of trucks that many of you guys will know from the state. We saw this recently in the coverage in the last issue. Up here you have, this would often kind of happen, you've got Philip Rivers Skinned Alive, not the Skinned Alive we all know, but kind of a cool little photo there. But then you had double the coverage. You had the rear 3/4 shot because of, you know, just, you know, black and white, and then they had a color photo. This is old school. Mike doesn't have a hair on his ass. I'm going to even up the game. I'm going to say not like maybe put pinball back there, Mike. Definitely an aquarium, Mike, but you got to step it up, Mike. You're losing out. Okay, this unibody Nissan is just peachy, all right? These trucks, I tell you, this is why I love doing these flip-throughs, because you can go back, and some of these trucks I haven't looked at in a long time. It's been a while since I went through every one of these issues, and of course, at that time, I was kind of going through them quickly to do my data analysis, right, of the trucks and the names and the covers and the wheels and all that stuff. But this truck is fire, okay? It's the Virginia plate. I've talked to Brandon Barella about this. I think North Carolina and Virginia, well, no, North Carolina, they had, you could do, I think, what, 8 characters? This one's, what, 5, 6, 7? But anyways, I hate bumps. I got that mixed up, I think, with North Carolina. They had an extra character. But holy cow, man. I mean, the wheels, topless, it's unibody. And it's freaking badass. So this was Ryan Sanford, Richmond, Virginia, 90 Nissan Hardbody. Straight fire. I would rock it every day. And let's not forget the phone. Mike's losing points because he doesn't have a CD changer. He doesn't have a tape deck. He doesn't have a phone. He's got a BlackBerry still. Let me see. Wait, he's still got one of these, I think. Or no, he's got this one, I think. He keeps asking me, hey, do you got a phone that I can borrow? I was like, come on, Mike, really? All right, next step in car shows, import Showoff. So here you go. You had a couple minis there. You had the Odyssey van. Stage 1 custom ad. You got Budnick wheels. Bag kits. Suicide Flip. I was talking to Ruben earlier. I might chat with him later again. This is the truck that we saw on the cover just recently. And if you look closely, you'll see the top. That's Ruben Arteaga. Still plays with trucks. There's a young Ruben Arteaga, the OG. And if you look closely here, you can see on the inside the Relaxed Atmosphere logo, the Chop Shop, that little famous sticker. Shout out to Brian Gendro. And good stuff. Lance Martz does it. And, of course, they're at the famous Chop Shop. All right, so Metamorphosis, from nosebleed to tail dragger. Dude, shout out to Tony Marie. She lives in Florida, and her man had this vehicle. I talked to him at Mini Nats, I think, this year, and he mentioned to me that he somehow kind of saved it. I don't want to give away the story. I'd like to eventually get him on, but you know, this truck has changed hands a lot, and I am so glad that someone has it, that, you know, is caring for it, like you know, different folks have, and they're just good, you know, good people out there kind of keeping these trucks alive. It was at Mini Nats this year. I did a video. If you look back at our reels, it still looks great. Don't know how it looks underneath, but, you know, this is one of those trucks, in my opinion, that you can't let go, you know. The old school is back, bigger than ever, and you just have a very iconic chute. You have an iconic truck. SUVs were not really at the popularity yet that trucks were. That shirt, though. Not saying that they weren't getting there. Absolutely, they were getting there. But, you know, with Ryan Fringlinghaus's Blazer and things like that, just super iconic. And you got Bill Hancock's name in here. We've had him on the podcast. You know, some of the different shout-outs they do. I always like to kind of look at those. Some capacitors, of course, plenty of amps. This one I often refer to, and I think a lot of people do, is call it, you know, the B52, because it had it in the headrest, and it had it, of course, right there. And that was the loudspeaker brand, my understanding, right? Because you can see it right there on the subs. So, yep. And one of my favorite aspects of it is the rear end, man. It's just super smooth. You got that iconic kind of West Coast graphic. Super clean interior from the tweed to the little bit of billet. And then inside the box, dude, the color matching, you know, just those details. You know, we see this stuff today, but I think like the old school stuff is just resonating more with a lot of us. And again, a couple photos there. Again, repping RA. Do you know who the other Pathfinder was? Have you guys commented? If you haven't, that of course is November 2003. Shout out to Chad Lucas. Chad's been on the podcast. He worked at Mini Truckin. Great dude. One of my old severed brothers. Hope he's doing well. Chad, of course, built an amazing Pathfinder. Technically was under construction. And, you know, he's since kind of moved on from that. But Wes Allison shot his, and those were the two Pathfinders on the cover. One with Colorado Custom Wheels, which was the one you just saw. And then, of course, he had a Rozzy on his Pathfinder. Mission Impossible. So I remember seeing the custom shop. I don't know if it was an S10. There's a truck that I could almost like see it in my mind from Sport Truck, that logo. And I think they were like in the Midwest. This is kind of a cool vehicle, a little bit different. Of course, you guys know I had an Amigo. I think if you've watched any of these, this one's a little bit different in the theming of it, but a lot of work into it. I dig all the Flexstone and all the kind of the paint and whatnot. And something different about it is of course, Amigo had the one I got from my friend John. It had the windows in the side. That one had shaved windows. Totally different. Here you have the year-end show, so Florida got even more love. And this one, you're going to see a couple of other trucks. So imagine if this was your truck. Shout out to the Trucksarosa folks, man. They're a strong-knit kind of community within their mini truck scene. And I bet you that's one of the few that's still around. Out of control minis. You've got the two famous Isuzus. Mad Mods and Seth's, right? I always get that wrong for some reason. And very, very iconic. Joe Grieve shot it. This truck, super clean. Dig the style, dig the wheels, dig the stance, kind of some of the accessories. That front grille, saw those kind of a decent amount in Florida where you just had the little holes cut. I was looking at something the other day, and it had that, and I was like, cool. Here you got local minis. Someone can chime in here. Bobby Bowman's, and we know that was Mad Mods, but the Peach S10, is this the one that Eric Cryan ended up, did he buy it from Bob? Or did they just say Bob's name? Because I think that's the Peach one that Eric had, that had the 95 Blazer headlights in it. That was when I saw, when I saw that, I was like, man, I was hooked. I wanted my truck to go lower. Shout out to Eric Cryan. Chimes in on our post from time to time. Blazing through this one. So here you had a way for kind of a little bit of filler, but it also gave you an opportunity to send away for these different catalogs. And I would do that. I used to keep them all as a pack rat, and I kind of got rid of a bunch of them, and now I wish I had some of them because they're kind of hard to find, but it's the way it goes. Trailer Park Boy, it's just the way she sometimes she goes, sometimes she stays. It's just the way of the road. You guys will get that if you're a Trailer Park fan, Trailer Park Boy fans. All right, so we'll kind of go through these a little bit, just showing. Here is St. Pete, California Love. So this was a way for them to share kind of mailed in photos and whatnot. Dude, one of the killer clean old school mini trucks, Granddad's old school mini 71 Datsun. Dude, Lance shot it. Super, super clean. Custom dash has been chrome, so they got a little bit of chrome done on it. Wire wheels. Dude, this is old school right here. Super clean. Nice little white wall on it. Great stance. You're starting to see like a resurgence of a lot of this style in Cali from all those guys out there. Shout out to them. Lemon and Lime, so this would have been shot at Slamfest. Of course, these trucks were there. I can kind of see from the way the water line is and the palm trees. That's just, you know, if you've been to that show, you know it. These two trucks were, I remember exactly where they were parked. Shout out to Ed Eister. He shared photos with us in the past. I probably need to reshare this one. This Georgia truck, I think, is the one that parked in our booth a couple years ago, and the guy still has it. I don't know if it's the same owner. I think it is. And then, of course, you've got the other green truck. Lemon and lime. It always reminded me of Sprite. And it's good stuff. Trucks-A-Rosa, shout out to those guys. Can't wait to see them again. Always good seeing them at shows. It was just the anniversary of us doing the 16-bit shirt that we did on ourlifestylepodcast.com. I think we got a couple left for $10. We're down to the bottom of the barrel. And those we dropped at the Spark Show a couple years back. 2020, I want to say. And man, it was a huge hit. You know, a lot of guys have done kind of the Mario stuff and whatever, but we wanted to do something a little bit different, and we did. Installing a Downey SST soft tonneau. You guys probably remember doing tech like that. Kind of kept your stuff a little bit secure, and then out of the elements. Notable quotables. LL Cool J, All World. I remember bumping that CD. Mini Truckin Magazine's a movie of the month. Ace Ventura, When Nature Calls, so the sequel. Ask Image Dynamics Rodney Wills about urinals. Okay. Yeah. Desert Storm 96. So keeping with the theme. Appreciate you guys that watch all the way through. And it definitely helps. Our channel's growing. If you have a channel and you're like, man, you just have to keep putting out content, and your stuff will get, you know, I don't want to say pushed up to the top, but, you know, people will find you, hashtag it, put a couple hashtags in the description box, or the description, the main description, 3-4 hashtags, and then do your regular hashtags. But, you know, appreciate everyone that's rocking with us. Real classic here, Toyota. Photography was Courtney and Chris Schmidt. So, of course, Chris has been on. Rest in peace to Courtney. And Lance did the write-up. Kind of something a little bit different. I'd love to find one of those little antennas. Just something nostalgic. Not sure if I'd put it on the Mazda or what. This is kind of cool here. So here's an early, I thought about posting this for like way back Wednesday or West Coast Wednesday. Ryan Fringling West Coast Auto Trends. Does anyone remember ever going to it when it was called that? Think about the empire that was started in this era. And you can kind of see there and read it if you want, but that's the little showroom. And Ryan, of course, talks about all started with mini trucks for him. There was rumors that he was going to have the blue Mazda at Slamboree. I don't know what happened with that. I'm sure running a multi-million-dollar business enterprise can get in the way of that kind of stuff. But like I said, if you can, go out to Our Lifestyle Podcast. It is a pre-sale. You can pick up one of the stickers. It'll just say Mini Truckin with the same grid pattern about the size. We will also, we have banners, we have skate decks, we have shirts, we have tank tops, we have hoodies, we have zip-ups. All right, and you can basically get similar sticker to the OG. And again, we took off magazine. This is another one that I had picked up over the course of time just to change it up and do something a little bit different. Other guys have done it. Shout out to them. Very cool. We appreciate them doing it too. And we're trying to just put our own little spin on things with the new shirt. It's got the OLP logo in that same font and look and feel on the front. The back, of course, is this grid pattern. So check it out. Stay on the rise. We appreciate you guys. And remember, 2 Pathfinders on the cover. This one, Chad Lucas's, and those Colorado Custom Wheels, though. We got you. Peace.